Welcome to the first edition of Weenus' Day in Review from the CPL, live here in Dallas, Fort Worth. I got pretty much the breaking scores of the day so far. The biggest news is Team Rivalco has gone over by 16-0. It's a big blowout from the third place winners from Summer CPL. We've also got another big match was Green Berets over the E-Police. That was 16-11. The match had a little bit of controversy. Both these teams have been controversial over the past few months and years that they've been playing, amongst each other. They've been accused of just about everything but being good, and they just generally they've had a bad rap on them. And I think the HLTV had seen that. He had read a couple of articles maybe, and he decided that he was going to ad ban them all in the 10th round. And it really slowed down momentum for E-Police, who was leading at the time. They had a little bit of trouble coming back after that, so much trouble that pretty much they got like 4 rounds. So after that, even though, it was a big part of Moxley, who had actually caught up to Bullseye's score at Lethal Gamers after just one half, that's roughly 80 rounds less than Bullseye had to get a good score. And then, in related news, actually, Call beat Vigor, also known as, what were they called before?
Carbone or something?
Carib won. Yeah. They beat them 16-12. Now, some people, pretty much everyone in the world, has probably heard about this from Big Wee. He's been telling just about everybody about his seed and all the different stuff that's happened. I even had the chance to sit down with him, and he had some pretty choice words to say about different people in the CPL administration. One of them was Justin, who he accused of doing the seedings, and he did say, whatever I said that he said, make sure it was not good. So I'll leave that to you to decipher from whatever Big Wee was talking about, because sometimes it's a little hard to know other than it's bad. Big Wee he had a lot to say about a couple of the teams above him. I'm not going to name any names, but he did say that you could have pretty much just took him, or I guess Vigor, and Pandemic, and tossed him in the air. Whoever came down should have got that seeding. It was pretty bad. It's pretty rough facing a team that's had hundreds of thousands of dollars put into them. Multimillionaires founding teams is going to be the next big thing. There's a lot of people know, pretty much everyone in this room has been invited to be a part of it, but some people are just a little slower on the uptake, money, including you. But it's rough. You're going to that, you're a little intimidated by how much money there is at the table, and then you only get 12 rounds on them. You got a CPL champ, a couple of, pretty much everyone on that team is placed above top 10. I'm actually a little curious as to how they got 12 rounds. But you know what? I'm not here to judge. I'm here to tell you the news. I don't judge people.
You're here to judge.
I am?
Yeah.
You're here to judge.
Then come on, guys. What are you doing? What are you doing out there? It's first round. Big Wee was scared. Well, not scared, but he was not happy about that. And you guys are going to... Whatever. Actually, I'd seen them as they were getting up on the table, and they did say that Vigor did pretty good, and you have to give the credit. You have to give them credit. You got to give Call credit for, what? How do you pronounce that?
COL.
COL. Okay, I'm sorry for whatever. You have to give COL credit for actually taking it like that. Now, I had the displeasure of watching the way Jason Lake had paced back and forth, very Jason Batesy, or Norman Bates typed behind the team, giving him pats on the back, and just being generally, I guess, some people would see it as warm. Some would call it as supportive. I would say psychotic. And he was there for his team, and I guess that's what matters. You're there at the money, you're there at the high fives, you're there at the momentous speech. I do have good word from a couple of people that one gives very good speeches. He's very motivational, and he's very well spoken to any scrub who didn't know. Four Kings went over the Lethal Hippies 16-1. It really proves to you that the UK qualifier was directly on. Any doubts you had about Four Kings, just toss them out. Who cares? Because Four Kings just took Lethal Hippies. Is that even right? Lethal Hippies? They just took Lethal Hippies 16-1, and on the way back from shaking hands, they took time out of their grueling schedule of beating them 16-1 to shake their hands afterwards. I heard one Four Kings member say, "This is the best day of my life." Alt Attacks went over had. You sure that's not who? had. 22-20. I have no idea who these guys are. I'm not going to pretend to know who they are. They're probably a pug from some funny state that I can't pronounce. Because I can only pronounce about 30 of the however many there are. I can't count. I don't even know how many overtimes 22 and 20 comes to be honest with you. Can you give me a number? 2 overtimes, double overtime in first round, alt attacks. They're going to be facing Astralis, which will probably send them down to loser's bracket with their good buddy Had, who they got, obviously, with 42 rounds, they really got to know him. Tech faced 2 Tech. That's 2-T-E-K, not T-E-C. 16-7. Now, the greatest thing about this is all 7 of those rounds were lost in one fell swoop after losing an eco round. That's John Alud's superstar status working out on land. With a team like Tech, I'm a little curious about it. You got a lot of pretty good players. Let's see. You got Gookie, who is easily probably one of the best players at this tournament. Tool, he plays left-handed. That's got to say something about him. Alud, who's really been known for his land performances. And then you've got Moses, who, as much as I'd like to say he does, just can't put up the scores in playoffs. Hopefully, I'd love to see these guys go to the very finals, but quite frankly, single digits is good enough for me. Let's see. That's pretty much all I got for the scores. I mean, everyone knows there's been plenty of other people playing, but quite frankly, who cares about all those? These are the only ones I really care about. Tomorrow, looking ahead, we're going to see I versus the Green Berets. Now, Green Berets had their match with E-Police. Obviously, the E-Police got away with murder by losing because they don't have to get smashed by the former CPL champions. Next up, in the big rematch, now this is one that I'm going to have my eye on if you want to watch the coverage for it. Tau and NOA are going to see a direct rematch on Inferno. Now, if anybody remembers summer, there was a huge upset, which included a funny picture of Point Blank with his face like that. And I will be bringing that picture back for this event. I hope you all enjoy it. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We got a somewhat new roster for NOA. We've got Executor. I can't pronounce it. It's pronounced differently every time I've ever heard it, but he's massive, and I'm sure that'll do something for his Counter-Strike game. Complexity is going to be seeing Mouse, which after their grueling match with Vigor should be very interesting. Mouse is a lot better in Vigor. No offense to Vigor because they're a good team in their own respect, but Complexity, Jason, you might want to throw a couple more $1,000 into this because we could be having some trouble. We could be going straight for a car wreck tomorrow. I hope they do better, but personally, what am I going to say? If I say I want Mouse to lose, then I'll have every German man in the whole world commenting on this article. Four Kings will be seeing Pandemic, which should be the second best day of this man's life. And then last thing that I see notable, I mean, there's a couple of other good matches. This is going to be a really good second round, but Adrena versus Team 3D. Now, if anybody follows Counter-Strike, and I hope you do if you're watching, Team 3D has a kryptonite, a green stone from Superman. It's actually pretty much Latin players. You think about any country that's ever been considered a Latin-speaking country, I guess 3D just can't hear them calling where they're going to go. They just can't tell. I don't know what to say. Good luck to you, Dave. I hope you do the best, but you need to learn Spanish, or else you're going to have some trouble against even just Adrena. That's pretty much all I got for the day. I mean, hopefully tomorrow should be a bit more exciting because today was, quite frankly, pretty boring. And I had to watch blowout matches all day from teams I've never even heard of, and I'm looking forward to round 2 here. I hope you guys are too, and I'll see you all next time.